So anyway, good evening, everyone. Looks like we have a small crew here tonight. And this is our regular meeting of the Bolton Finance Committee on Thursday, February 20th. And we have present in the room committee members, Ross Lally, Chair. It's going to call you Bob Monroe, but it's Bob Mora.
Yes, thank you.
Bob Mora from the Selectmen, also Amanda Gordon from the Selectmen. We have another member at large, Tyler Egner. And then online, we have Jim Lurch, who is a member of the public, and Jill Collins, our Chief Financial Officer. And we also have Mary, our clerk, without whom this would not be possible. So I call the meeting to order. I'm going to ask if there's any public participation. And I'm asking you, Mr. Lurch, since you are the public here, and I gave you the link tonight, so you can comment if you wish, sir. So I'm not hearing anything from Mr. Lurch, so we can go on to approval of our minutes for the January 30th, 2025 special meeting.
I'll move the adoption of the minutes as presented, Mr. Chairman.
So we have a motion by Bob Mora to approve the minutes as presented. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Amanda Gordon. Discussion.
Nice, simple.
I think it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, because that was just voted on the meeting and got out of Dodge.
Yeah, that was a-
You know,
that was
the
it.
budget got out of Dodge, so. So I'm not seeing anything myself or anybody else wanting correction, so I will call for a vote. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 So we have 3 ayes. I am not voting, so there are no abstentions or nays, so it's unanimous by the voting members. So we shall continue on then with the elected official and town and staff reports. I don't see anybody in person here or online representing the Board of Ed, so I don't know.
They have a
They're having a
meeting.
meeting.
They're,
right
they're
now.
having their meeting, I know.
And that's why 2 of our members.
They're not here either, so. Yeah. So I don't know, Jill, if there's anything you're aware of in here. This seemed to be the usual to me.
I'm not aware of anything for them.
I didn't see anything jumping out when I skimmed through it.
The only thing I would draw attention to is that the materials in the packet, if they were posted online, are not the correct materials. So there's 2 packets labeled FY 24. The one that says as of January 31st, 2025 should be labeled FY 25. The 1-year look back that we were provided with says FY 24, but it's actually FY 23 because it says as of January 3rd, FY 23.
Yeah, okay.
You're right, Amanda, and that is exactly what Casal gave me, so I don't have.
Oh, no,
Because I
I
think
just
we
No, I
had
wanted to
understand.
make
No, I get
Thank
it.
you for bringing it up, because
Yep.
I figured it out, but then I forgot to mention it. And we had something similar the last time or one of the previous times where it was a cut and paste like that. For the, the title.
I did double check to make sure that I gave you exactly what she gave me, but that was all I got. I'm sorry. And I know you're not blaming.
No apology.
I do think the projected underspending went down from our last report, though. Now they're coming in at underspending of 37,000. I'm pretty sure it was much higher. I feel like it was 150.
Do you want me to look? You want me to go back and look?
No, I mean, I
Yeah.
just.
It's up to you.
But
I can.
No,
Well, they transferred $60,000
For the HVAC.
To that
Yeah.
revac.
Yeah.
fix, which I'm glad they did that.
Yeah, 'cause
Oh, yeah,
it's
it needed to happen.
It needed to be done.
Right.
So far, coming in pretty close to budget for this year,
Yeah,
so far.
So far.
so far. Okay. Any comment, Tyler? No one? Okay, so then why don't we move on to the town update?
Well, other than the fact, we're hoping to have our budget together after our next week's meeting. So that's where we are.
When
And
you say we, it's this board.
the Board of Selectmen, I'm sorry, for the Board of Selectmen, and the Board of Selectmen is also gonna look at the capital with some thoughts on reductions. So I'm just sharing that. with you.
Okay, no, is it at your AP meeting or a separate meeting?
Yeah, it's the, it's our,
Immediately following.
it's following the AP
Oh,
meeting,
okay,
special meeting following the AP meeting.
okay. Jill,
So, as you can see, well, I still haven't done the adjustments for the current tax period yet. We are doing one more. We did, well, actually, Jenna did up today for next AP meeting. I believe it was like 5 more return on the, current taxes. And then I'm gonna try, time permitting, to do that adjusting entry, putting the taxes that are going to be put to next year into the liability line. So she only got 3 in a month, so I think, or 4,
Yeah, we're in good
4 or
shape.
5 in this past month, so, and the supplemental tax due is gone by, so I'm gonna feel pretty comfortable doing it now, and if anything does come in from here on out, then I'll just take it, we'll just lower the liability for next year. So next month, we should have it cut dry what's really in the current taxes.
Okay.
So it's
All right.
still a little high, but, so I did do an extra line for the overpayment refunds. Besides the regular refunds that we do for
Yeah.
overpayment of taxes, the regular ones. I just so it was very clear for everyone to see. Do you want me to bring it up or?
yeah, why, if you could.
Yeah, sure.
So when you're saying that's that column that is, it's another column then, you said, return,
Correct.
which,
It's, the overpayment refunds is the one that's going back. For the
okay,
tax.
got it.
Overpayment
You just-
materials.
I'll pull it up.
No, thank you for putting that out, Jill, because it helps make it clearer.
Not a problem. Okay. Now that I know how to, well, I don't know if we can make this bigger, but hold on one second. Let me go back and hit share.
There it goes.
Okay.
All right, we got
Yeah.
it.
Good.
Thank you.
So the supplemental tax, we have been collecting quite a bit on. We're actually doing pretty good considering everything at 65% right now, 65.84% for supplemental. I believe that the numbers, I have it right in front of me, but I believe the numbers came in 200,000, not, and that's not taking the like 94% of, but I think the supplemental is about 200,000 or in the 200,000. So I'm feeling good about the 175,000 for supplemental. So doing great on interest and prior period taxes being collected. I think we're doing pretty good. Like,
That's a quick question.
Just one thing, just let me make a quick note for Mary that Rodney Fournier, our first selectman, just joined at 7:23. In case she didn't see him come in on the camera. Okay, Mr. Mora.
I don't know if you've had any conversations with our bank yet as to what their projection might be for the interest of for the rest of this year, if they mod.
I haven't had that conversation, but a couple months ago, I did have a conversation that I have not been able to follow up with her, Alexis on, but they did say they were going to have to lower the interest rate. She didn't say how much.
Yeah.
And I told her that it would have to be presented to the board of selectmen. So, but I haven't gotten back to her. I haven't talked to her in a little bit. So, but I was warned, but I know that they need to present that to you and they know that. But she did-
They
give me
wouldn't
the
have
number.
to present, they wouldn't have to come to us, Jill, right? Because
No,
our
no.
contract with them says variable.
Correct, but
Right.
when we met with them, the board of
They said they
selectmen
would.
met with them, they
Yeah.
said that they would give them notice.
Got it.
Okay,
So,
So I guess my request would be like, whenever we know this team is gonna set the revenue, which is gonna be in the next, probably in April,
Right,
early April, I would hope. if we can reach out and try and get some clarity so that we can set that number appropriately.
Yeah, and also I'd ask the question of, would they be willing to share a prediction of where we might be next year? Just a range,
Yeah,
just for us, so we can
Like
project.
typical, like worst,
Yeah, worst case,
worst average and best case.
right.
Also,
So would you like me to set up
Hold
a,
on, we had a question from Tyler.
okay,
also like when are the adjustments or like when are the variable like rate changes? Is it like quarterly or like monthly
No.
or?
No
there isn't any set time.
time.
I think
Okay,
it's
so it really,
compounded daily, so it could be at any point,
Yeah,
right?
they haven't changed it.
Okay.
Since
Correct.
we.
I'm sure they have
but whenever
internal
they change
guide.
it, it's never
Yeah.
a set. It's just
No.
Right.
whenever it
I'm
happens.
sure they
Yeah.
have some internal guidelines
Right.
for their benchmarks, and then at a certain point, they change them to maintain whatever profit margins and stuff they need to.
So, okay, so
Yeah.
it definitely makes sense why we want to have a little heads up,
Yeah.
because it's not like a regular
No.
recurring.
Because
No,
No predictability.
Yeah, because it looks
Exactly.
like we're going to finish this year with about 500,000,
Yeah.
which is, I think, what
Good,
we
thank God.
guessed.
Mhm.
And then, that does beg the question of what would be a reasonable number to think next year based on
Right.
whatever they can tell us by April.
that was why when I looked at that, that's the thought that crossed my mind as well.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
Would,
All
so
yours, Jill.
would you like me to set up a meeting with them for the selectmen or no, yes?
Well, what we would need or would like is what we were discussing is
Hmm?
if they would be willing to, as the chair said, share with us what their
You said
prediction
it-
would be.
You said it
Yeah.
first.
Yep,
Yeah, no, worst case and best case scenario for the upcoming fiscal year.
Yep.
Where it goes now, I can't imagine any change being significant enough to really impact what we've
Yeah,
got coming.
I don't think it needs to come from them, but if you can get that data and share it with us, like.
Right, that's
yeah.
good enough. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you could, yeah, Jill, so the ask is if you could ask them what, what the range of interest rates would be that they predict for next year, with the understanding we're not gonna hold them to it, but we just would like an idea for planning.
And
Okay.
the other thing from the bank, they were supposed to come back with a proposal if we collected taxes twice a year, weren't they?
Oh, They were supposed to
Yes.
help do an analysis for
We
us.
never got that, I don't think.
well, they did, well, we did work on that, but I guess they didn't. The thing was, they wanted more concrete information from me, which I couldn't provide because I could only say, okay, so what I did was I took the first half of the year and I said, all right, the current property tax, and I split it in half as if it was, only, and so then they wanted the second half of the year and I can't project because that's when, like everything else, the first half of the year was easy. Cause I just split, the, personal property, the current real estate in half. But going forward, I predicting that, I couldn't do that. But I can look back, because I did, they did give me some
I'm not-
information, but
I'm not
mostly,
quite following Jill, because couldn't we just simply know the typical historical pattern that the monies come in and either split that, or you just say, you know what, half the money's gonna come in the spring, half of it's gonna come in the fall, and you work with that. So I'm
And add
trying to
an
understand.
amount for the supplemental.
but in reality,
guess-
that's not how it works, because we don't get half and half, or we don't get all of it. So, I mean, it certainly, well,
I guess
I'll look back
overall,
at my notes, because
Yeah.
first
I
half
guess
is
over-
easy to predict.
overall, that was a selectmen's issue, not a Board of Finance issue at the moment. I just
Well,
was.
No, it becomes a
It
board of
will be.
finance
Yeah, it
issue.
will.
But you weren't concerned, we asked the question.
well,
Yes.
I mean, we're talking
For
about potential
constituents.
revenue for next year. I mean, and all we need to do, Jill, is put a star at the bottom of whatever the analysis is, outlining our underlying assumptions, right? Like,
Yeah.
so,
That's all.
yeah, no
Well,
one.
I understand it's an assumption, but because we don't collect like that, the second half, what do you split? The first month, the second month, the way, I guess I could do it that way, but it's not, because we don't collect that way, it's hard to predict the second 6 months.
Well, you
Right.
could say
But I
based on
certainly could take the first 6 months and then you use it on the other half.
Because I know if you, I'll just tell you my own druthers, because I have the cash at hand, is I would just keep it until the second payment. So I have the use of the money and get the
Right.
interest as
Right.
opposed
Gain
to
the
giving it
interest,
to
yeah.
the town,
Yeah.
but I don't know what other people would do. 'cause it
Well,
all
exactly,
depends on their
exactly.
needs.
That would cut this in half.
Right, that's the other
Well,
thing.
that's
And
what
that's
we're
what
trying to
we
figure
wanted to
out.
I think that's the other way to
Right.
do it.
Well, no, yeah, well,
We lose that much. Yeah. Okay,
sorry,
Anyway.
didn't mean to go on that. tangent.
No, no, it's a good thing to bring up because it has the potential to affect, the budget to some extent that we don't quite know. Should that happen.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. Continue.
This is all the other revenues which are coming in pretty much on target. I don't see any, the only thing is, the veterans taxes, that's it for the year, so we're not gonna get the other 883. Disability is gonna be, we're not gonna get the other 220. Those two are gonna, that's it for the year for those two, collections. And other than that, everything, it seems to be pretty much on target.
So this is relevant to both Board of Selectmen and, well, I guess it's not, because there's no decision that the Board of Selectmen has to make, because it was a state law, but we never got an analysis of the impact of the new state law, the veteran
Oh, yeah.
disabled, the
Property
full
tax.
tax exemption for, disabled veterans, and so we need that,
I think that's
the impact of
still
it.
for debate.
That's not
It
me.
passed already.
no, they're looking to modify it.
They're trying to define it.
They're
Yeah.
trying to
Oh,
define it.
well, I know Pam is looking to maybe
Yeah.
Right.
expand it.
Which you would, well, yeah,
Full disability, I think, is the term that's trying to be defined.
Oh, I mean, the
Yeah.
VA has a definition.
No, that's what I was
of
gonna say. I
disability.
just think you'd go by what the VA.
well, no,
definition
other than the
was,
fact,
but-
death is.
Right, that
that's-
was the
that's
one that
part of
Gold
it as
Star
well. So-
families were
so
not, yeah.
For us, the impact.
But we
is
can
pretty
get an
minor.
analysis based on
Yeah.
the current law as it's written.
Yeah.
I mean-
Anybody who has full disability, you just look
interpret
it up, and that's it.
I think
So again,
And then-
make an assumption, then it may or may not be accurate depending on what the
Right.
state
I
chooses.
don't know if we even have anyone on full disability.
No?
I don't, I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, is it gonna be a couple $1,000s? Is it gonna be a couple hundred? Like,
Away.
Oh, I know, I wouldn't suspect it'd be,
Too
I
big?
think, I think you're in a lower range, but,
That would be an assessor question, though. I,
right, but can you just take that back?
you could,
I mean, you can, you
no,
can take that back to Jim and ask him to ask Kara, because
Yeah,
it's
that's-
it's
that's-
relevant to our work as a finance committee.
so I don't
Yeah.
know what you're asking, though, because I don't really don't have anything to do
No,
with
The
it.
no, you wouldn't, the assessor would have that data.
The analysis of, right, I'm not asking you to give me an answer, I'm not saying we will need the analysis of the impact of the VA tax exemption law on our revenues for next year.
And the assessor can give us
And
that.
that's something that Jim can ask
Yeah.
Kara to
Right.
do.
Yep.
With a certain assumptions.
Right.
And
Right.
based on our current understanding of the legislature's intent, this is, what do you think will happen, Kara?
Yeah.
And that may or may not be accurate, but it's like most of
Really
the
pretty
things we
close.
do, it's an educated guess. And
Yeah.
like you're saying, I don't think it's gonna be too far,
No,
because it's not a huge amount to begin with. Okay. Next,
We received, so we have received all our town aid road money for the year.
Okay.
The expenditures are we're running about normal.
excuse me.
No questions?
Well, we're running a little over. We're at like 51%, whereas past years we were 49 and 36, which it's not bad. I'm just saying, like, maybe that means our budgets are getting tighter and
Yeah.
more accurate, right?
Yeah.
We may not have as much left over this year as we have in past years, is all I'm getting
But
at.
it also means, it depends on what payroll you're in this year versus last year or the year before, and
Yeah.
some months before others. So it's not a perfect science. You can't just take
No,
the expenditure line and divide it by 12 or
And they're
budget, you know?
right,
So,
yep,
I mean, it's pretty close.
It gives you
Yeah.
directional information, but it's not 100% accurate as
Right.
to where we're gonna line up.
right, yep,
I mean, if this were saying like 70% was spent of this month, I think we'd start getting a little bit concerned, but.
oh, right,
Absolutely.
I would say there's no reason to be concerned.
No, I'm just saying, no, I'm just saying, and just to illustrate like directionally, like
Right.
if it's at 50%, well, we're more than halfway through the year.
Yeah.
So, 51% is still, reasonable. And if,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
saying if it were 70 or 80, then you're just 6, 7 months into the year, I'd say, yeah, we gotta worry about this, even though it's not 100% predictor.
No, I mean, budgets by definition. And projections by definition
Yes,
are estimates,
Estimates.
our
that's all
best
it is.
reasonable guess based on whatever information we have at the hand when we did it. Okay, next.
Just the transfers that happened in January.
And
Pretty small.
And the green, the good news, green sheet.
yeah, and then the interest rate. Which we kind of jumped ahead and looked at.
I'm sorry.
You want, so we want, we're gonna go right to here? Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
That was the next one in this pile.
That's the sensitive.
So, well, yeah, I want to just jump back here for a second. So we're well below, at this point in time, below the 16 million right now. We're in the 15, almost in 14 million in the bank now. So next month's interest will be lower than the 44.
That's where we were last year too.
Yep. But even if you average it out at 25,000 for the remainder, you're still over 500.
Yeah. Which is
Yeah.
what we budgeted around for, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think, so that's it for that.
Okay,
Okay, so it would be the next agenda item. So
alright.
the selectmen
transfer.
approved, and I can't get this to go straight up down, but yeah, here we go. So there had to be a transfer out of department. Selectmen approved it, moving it on to the finance committee to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the transfer from the public health budget to the
And that's from
No, senior.
seniors.
seniors.
Yeah,
Oh,
Seniors to
sorry,
public.
to the public health budget from the seniors budget in the amount of $293 from the category other professional services to the category other contracts.
Do I have a second?
Oh, no,
Where are we on right now?
No.
Budget transfer fee.
I'll be happy to second it, but I figured I'll give you.
Give Tyler a chance.
Yeah, I'll second it, yes.
Okay. Motion made by
I
Amanda
couldn't find it in my stack.
to transfer the
Just in
funds,
case some
seconded
Google
by
reviews.
Tyler. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. So all the three voting members all agreed and said aye, so it passed unanimously by the voting members. I am not a voting member and there's nobody else present, so no nays or abstentions. And I'm gonna put this on Mr. Jim's door when we're done with a note that we approved it tonight. So let's continue on to the ongoing business communication.
I put the budget calendar out. I don't know if you ever shared it. I shared it, emailed it to you
You did. Oh, it didn't go
weeks
out.
ago. I don't know that it went out to like the senior center and the library, because you couldn't do that.
Oh,
That had to come from you,
okay. I'll
for the
make-
Board of Selectmen.
I'll do that
It
tomorrow.
had to go through you, but I posted on social.
Yeah, it's-
I mean, and, I was just trying to pull it up on my phone to make sure the one we have in front of us matches that, but so far that's the only communicating. That's really happened.
Okay, cool.
Not in terms of communication to the public, but in terms of communication with the Board of Ed. For next year's calendar, we probably want to make sure there's no conflicts between meetings, since
fine.
now,
Tonight.
now
Yeah.
there are two members of the Board of Ed who
Is that a
always-
special, they're a special meeting, isn't it?
Was
I
it a
think it
special-
is.
it was
Theirs
a
has to be,
budget
because this is
meeting.
our regular meeting, yeah,
Yeah,
it's a special meeting, so they're
we're
ones
gonna
that,
have to, yeah,
I-
just,
I don't think I'm jumping the gun, but they're announcing their new,
they did it tonight at
Oh,
6:30. Yeah,
did they announce it yet?
yeah, I don't know.
that's what they're supposed to be.
Oh.
They did it all, it was like done by 6:32 because my Zoom app was updating and I missed it.
Yeah, because they said,
Like,
that-
like, that was fast.
yeah, they said they were supposed to introduce the new chair at this meeting, no?
The
No.
new- Superintendent.
Superintendent, I mean, sorry.
And I think, no, I'm not gonna say that. I think there was something else that happened, but
Okay. So let's go on. Anything, so we did communication. Jill, I think anything new with the tax issue? You kind of touched on it up ahead that you're still tying up the loose ends on it and you'd added that column into the revenue sheet,
maybe.
tax.
I have nothing else though.
That's interesting.
And I don't know of anything else either on that topic. So we can move on to the budget calendar. And I'll just note as we do that our next scheduled meeting is a regular meeting on March 30th. We have a potential space for special meetings on March 27th and on April 3rd.
March 27th, April 3rd,
No.
April 10th, April 17th, April 23rd, April 29th, yeah. Public hearing, possible budget adoption on May 1st, and that's all I have. Okay, yep, it matches what I put out to the public.
Yeah, good thing.
Consistency,
Well,
very good.
That's handy.
Yeah.
And then the fun begins after that with all the referenda.
and the Board of Selectmen, correct, is the one that has to set the referendum date.
Yeah, but
Right.
they typically
Okay.
in around
Typically.
the third Tuesday.
Yeah, I
week
just-
Of the month on a
Right.
Tuesday.
We hadn't done that yet, so I put to be set by the Board of Selectmen
Yeah.
on the,
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure I didn't lie.
Okay.
Inadvertently.
Okay, then I guess at this point, then we can I can ask for a motion to
So
adjourn.
move.
So motion to adjourn, do I have a second?
And it's like, oh, Tyler, all right.
Tyler seconded it. So we are adjourned at 7:43.
Excellent.
Thank you all very much.